it's me, Mario. Welcome to a brand new movie review. This one is, you guess it, for Super Mario's movie. It's time for us to finally talk about the Super Mario's movie. And with this animated interpretation for Super Mario's World, we follow Mario and Luigi as they accidentally stumble upon a portal to another world, the Mushroom Kingdom, where they become the unlikely heroes needed to defeat the evil Emperor Bowser. Super Mario's the movie, man. It has been a long time coming. I think when we first heard the Illumination was handed the keys to do a animated Super Mario's movie, there was some panic. Now, nothing wrong with Illumination. They've done some really wonderful things in most recent years. They've been churning out pretty fun movies, but I guess it was the fans thinking in the back of their mind the last time we got a Mario movie in live action form. Well, we tried to forget about that situation and we tried to never bring it up again. And there was also that intrusive thought, could this movie be as bad as the live action one? And we even discussed the news when we first heard that Chris Pratt was voicing Mario, and that was the exact thing people were feeling with Illumination, disfavoring all celebrity actors to voice iconic characters instead of trying to make their own. And we were in panic mode for sure, but everything got turned around the minute we saw the footage. I don't know what voodoo magic they pulled off, but the Super Mario movie looked absolutely incredible. So now finally bringing in and having seen the movie myself, Mario fans, I cannot wait for you to experience this movie. And look, I'm going to be completely fair here about the good and the bad of this movie, but right now there's so much good here, and I was just saying this movie looks incredible, and on the big screen it's just mesmerizing. What Illumination and Nintendo were able to put off here in terms of the visuals is just outstanding. Sure, it's extremely faithful to the games, but it doesn't feel like a direct copy of it. They brought to life the Mushroom Kingdom in a very unique way where it feels living. There's an actual atmosphere to it, and there's almost like a uniqueness to it, although it looks extremely familiar to what we all think the Mushroom Kingdom to be, and because the visuals in here are so pretty to look at, when it comes to the action sequences, you're just impressed with it. And it's all handled in such a fun and engaging way you can't help to have but the biggest dumb smile on your face. And I think that's what I like most of Nintendo and Mario. And I think the fans, as watching this movie, you're just gonna catch yourself with the biggest smile and mouth wide open, eyes wide, and some people might feel this. I felt this a couple of times throughout the movie. You hear incoming key tone associated with the game's certain acute structures that remind you of the levels that you play as a kid. You kind of get goosebumps and almost want to tear up. Now, these days, people want to argue about nostalgia just being used as bait to go and see something automatically like it, but in the Mario movie, it's handled in such a respectful way where every Easter egg, cameo, or reference to the game doesn't feel cheap or just thrown at your face like, hey, get what we doing in here? Because throughout the Mario movie, there are literally thousands of Easter eggs. I'm not kidding, thousands of Easter eggs. Now, in the first 10 minutes of the movie, you can catch so many of them in the background and just slightly out there, and makes you as a Mario and Nintendo fan almost feel seen, and you can tell the creative team had a lot of love and passion for the Mario world, and it's definitely shown in the product. Touching upon some of the acting in here, because this where a lot of my skepticism was coming into, like Chris Pratt really capture Mario. Is that something I'm just going to have to deal with it and be like just Chris Pratt with a tiny bit of a broken accent? And I'm not joking or exaggerating. Chris Pratt wasn't just passable as Mario. He was great as Mario. And within 1 minute of him speaking as Mario and acting in character, I wasn't thinking about Chris Pratt. I was thinking about Mario. And I might have been a little too harsh on Chris Pratt because he does enough here to make the voice his own. Charlie Day, to me, I thought also did a fantastic job as Luigi, and I tell you your speech as well. Big standout toe, Keegan Michael Key, but probably the one that had the best fun and the best job of the all is it was Jack Black as Bowser. Oh, the boy had a lot of fun with this role. It wasn't just him being loud and grossy and sad. Bowser got a musical sequence in here too. Nothing that would take you away from the movie. They are very short, but I would say the songs is catchy, man. People are gonna be singing after this movie. The other thing I found myself loving about the Super Mario's movie is the way they tackle the world building here, because they have decades upon decades of Mario games where they can pick and choose what they want to play out in this movie, and from the trailers you already have seen a little bit of what they done. They included the mystery blocks in there that once you punch them, items pops up, and it gives you a special ability where the way they tackle and explain the abilities work within the Mushroom Kingdom. I love it because it was handled in a way that was faithful to what happens in the game, but it doesn't create this sort of overpoweredness or super ridiculous factor where these people live in a world where anytime they can put out a fireball suit or go flying in a raccoon suit. And even with Princess Peach, they do something with her backstory that just leaves the door open for endless possibility in the Mario world, and it feels like yes, we want to be faithful to some of the stuff you've seen in the games, but in this world we have to advance this character, we have to give them development, we have to give them origins, and I thought the movie was handling this setup such an incredible way. Now let's move on to some of the mixed and negative stuff about this movie. Before we get to that, I do want to mention, after having seen this movie and the way it just left me so happy and joyful inside, I was surprised to see some people being kind of harsh with this movie. You have to be real grunge inside to be upset with this movie, because yeah, I will admit there are some things about this movie where you're like, that could have been handled better. Starting off with the pacing, the pacing of this movie, I'm mixed about it because it just moves super fast, like a whiplash pace, and there's no dull moment in the Super Mario movie. It feels like it was made for people with short attention span, because they're constantly moving the plot forward and then it ends. It's just an hour and 30 minutes long, but to some people it's just going to feel like an hour, and you get such a fast pace like this. Sometimes you don't get to digest a lot of the things going on. As soon as Mario enters the Mushroom Kingdom, within 1 minute and 30 seconds, he's already met Toad. He already knows where he has to go to Princess Peach. He knows who Bowser is, and that he has to save his brother. Like a quick dump of information. And Mario's like, yeah, let's go ahead and let's do this. And there are a lot of things we meeting some of the new characters, introducing some of the new aliens, and sometimes you're just like, can we look around this Mushroom Kingdom for a little bit? Can we understand this world? Can this character get to know each other a little bit more before they 100% trust each other and go on an adventure? Also, the story plays out here is extremely simple. That's always how Mario has been. Bowser kidnaps Peach and Mario has to rescue her. Now, if you have seen the trailers now, they're not exactly what is going to be happening in this movie. Instead, Bowser gets hold of Luigi and Mario just desperately wants to save his brother with Peach by his side. To me, honestly, I didn't mind the story being that simple. There's already so much going on in terms of new characters, new ability, world building, and whatnot. It feels like that's what you needed to do for a Mario movie. It's always been that simple, and it's just kind of I want to see more of the brother dynamic between Mario and Luigi, but when you have them kind of a split for 80% of the movie, it's kind of like, man, I just want to see these brothers interact. But there's a sweet payout where they get to team up in the end of the final battle, and I just that put a happy smile on my face because I love that ending fight. Now, one of the voice casting that I just could not get over throughout this movie was Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. Man, I was actually rooting for Seth Rogen. When I first heard that he was going to voice Donkey Kong, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I don't think that is a bad choice. But Seth Rogen does what I feel Chris Pratt was going to do with Mario. It's literally just his voice. There's no uniqueness to it. There's no added flavor to it. It's just Seth Rogen within his lines. So throughout this movie, I'm picturing him and I'm picturing Donkey Kong right there. And there was no attempt to try and make the voice a little unique, a little different. It kind of takes you out of the movie, especially every time he laughs. He has this distinctive laugh that you know it's him. Also, the sounds in this movie, I would say they were used better in different movies. So the soundtrack sounds are going to be hit and miss for some people. But again, those are just nitpicks and bumps in the road to otherwise was a spectacular and wonderful movie. I think kids are going to eat this movie up. And I think that if you grew up a Mario Nintendo nerd, you're just gonna walk out of the theater with such a joy, like a little kid again. This movie, I think, is not going to be loved as much by people who doesn't have the nostalgia attachment to it. But overall, the movie is a lot of fun and very entertaining. And I still recommend you watch it. I think that Nintendo and Mario's fans will appreciate the movie more, but I still think that it's a fun watch and it's really a wonderful movie, like I said. So I still recommend you go watch it. And that's my review for the Super Mario Super movie. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, consider subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching. See you guys next time. Bye bye.